Yes, sir. Welcome back to another edition of Fast Break Bets presented by BettingPros. You know me, know the voice, know the guys. Me, really real, villain real, Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service. All right, had a lot of action going on a Tuesday. A lot of different results here. Let's start off with the fast break bets plays. We had the Magic and the Cavs to go under 224.5. Beautiful hit in that play, just automatically beautiful. Total came in at 204. I think the total fell as far as 218. All numbers hit there. And then I made a stupid play of betting a Spurs player to go over right now. And I don't know. I'll talk about more why that was stupid of me, but I don't know why I did that. I thought De'Aaron Fox would have a good bounce back game. There was a lot of other plays that I probably could have done. So I deserved to eat crap there. I didn't deserve to eat crap on Cincy on my social media play, though. Cincy laying 2.5. They ended up getting the money line win, didn't cover 2.5, won by 2. Anybody that took the money line instead of laying 2.5 like me, nice hit there. Then other social media play was Georgia plus 6.5. Got the dub there and got a nice little money line sprinkle on Georgia, so that was nice. And then I had my college basketball live stream plays as well with Matt Peralt, host of the Daily Juice podcast. We do that on Betting Pros YouTube every Tuesday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Pacific. And I hit San Diego State getting a bounce back win in the W column, laying 2.5. They got the dub there, covered that. And then Richmond, yeah, they're really, really bad. I got cute there. So Richmond plus 14.5. Even in a rivalry game, they weren't able to cover 14.5 there. So wash of a day. Nice little plus money hit with the Georgia on the money line, but very, very wash of a day. So looking for a much better day here on a Wednesday. And we will talk about the couple of plays that I have to give you on a Wednesday in just a second. But first, got to talk to you about Microsoft. Welcome to this week's Chasing Challenges brought to you by Microsoft. Just like the athletes who push boundaries and redefine what's possible, business decision makers today are turning challenges into opportunities. Microsoft meets you where you are with the tools and guidance that help you make an impact with safe, secure AI solutions. Players and teams are facing their own challenges. In this segment, we will spotlight a team that is currently undergoing a challenge and from what it means from a fantasy and betting perspective here in fast break bets, and we can examine how we think that they can overcome them. And so whatever challenge you're facing, Microsoft empowers you with the expertise to say bring it on. This week we're talking about the Phoenix Suns because the Phoenix Suns have a problem. They don't play any type of defense whatsoever at all. As I'm recording this, I just came off of watching the Suns and the Memphis Grizzlies game, where the Phoenix Suns scored 148 points in overtime and lost the game. The Phoenix Suns scored 148 points in overtime and lost the game because they gave up 151. Let's just read down the totals of the Suns. Well, the Suns' opponents' team totals over the course of February. Portland scored 127. Then Portland came back and scored 121. OKC scored 140. Utah scored 127. Denver scored 122. Memphis scored 119. Houston scored 119. San Antonio Spurs scored 120. Chicago Bulls scored 117. Toronto scored 127. And then here goes the Memphis Grizzlies scoring 151. This is supposed to be the point of the segment where I tell you what I think that the Phoenix Suns could do to fix this issue. But short of going and begging and pleading to Frank Vogel that it wasn't his fault and he probably was a scapegoat, there's nothing that they can do at this point. The only thing we can do is continue to fade the Phoenix Suns and continue to take the team total over of their opponents, because this team is not even committed at all at any point on the defensive side of the ball. I don't know how we are ever supposed to bet this team. They are unbettable to me because they don't play any form of defense. And this stretch has to be one of the worst defensive stretches by any team over the course of the entire season. It is really, really bad. The Phoenix Suns have an issue. And for us, we're going to take advantage by just betting their opponents to go over the team total over. So expect to hear that coming back up over the next few days as we look at more Suns game, because I just can't get behind this defense at all whatsoever right now. So there you go. That's it for this week's Chasing Challenges. Remember, Microsoft's AI solutions empower you to take bold steps and make informed decisions, sparking new ideas to help drive your business forward. With Microsoft as your trusted partner, you can navigate your journey with confidence, finding innovative solutions and reaching new possibilities. Visit Microsoft.com/challenges to learn more. And you know who also has a challenge? Because I talked to you about the Phoenix Suns and how they gave up 120 points to the San Antonio Spurs. In hindsight, that looks way worse than what it did in the moment, because San Antonio cannot score the basketball at all. I mean, they are anemic to scoring the basketball in 2 games against the New Orleans Pelicans, whose defense is horrible. They scored 96 and 103 points. They scored 110 against the Detroit Pistons. They scored 103 against Boston. I mean, anybody with a pulse defensively is holding this team under their total. And now they're coming off of a back-to-back here after that aforementioned New Orleans game that they only scored 103 points. And if we look at what teams are doing coming off of a back-to-back and going to play the Houston Rockets are limiting teams to scoring over their team total. They're really, really good to it. I mean, I mentioned it. If you remember me talking on the show and talking about, hey, the Rockets have been good in the first half under on the second half of back-to-back. The Rockets have been good to the under and on the back-to-back. Well, it's the same thing for the opponent's team total under. You look at what they've been doing this season. Opponents are 4-9 to their team total. 4-9 to their team total on the second leg of a back-to-back playing the Rockets. The Rockets defense shows up big. Doesn't matter if they're on a back-to-back or not. They show up and they play really, really well off of no rest here. You look at the San Antonio Spurs, who are also on a back-to-back here. They are 3-6 to their team total on the second leg of a back-to-back. So you have a bad offense that gets worse on the second leg to a back-to-back, trying to be able to score the basketball. And you have a defense in the Houston Rockets, who's one of the best defenses in the league, by the way. I mean, you look at what they've been doing over the course of the entire season. They are third in defensive rating over the course of the entire season. But if we just go ahead and trim that back down to the last 5 games, they've still been really, really good. Defensive rating falls down a little bit. They're still a top 10 defense, 8th in terms of defensive rating. They've held teams to 108.4 points per game. That is 6th in the NBA. And it's really because they have the wing defenders, Amin Thompson, Tari Eason, Dylan Brooks. Jabari Smith Jr. comes back, and he's a solid defender in his own right and gives them a little bit of element of size and helps with the rim protection. So I find it hard pressed. I'm really, really sorry about De'Aaron Fox play. I thought at least he could get off, but I find it really hard pressed that the San Antonio Spurs are going to be able to score the basketball as much as they need to get over this team total. And the total's been rising. Now, I'm not certain why this total's been rising. It opened up at, hold on. It opened at 224.5. I don't recall seeing that at all when I was looking at the number. I've seen it at 226, and I've seen it gone up from 226 to 227.5. And it made me almost not want to play this. So, but I decided to go against my better judgment, and instead of playing the under, which is what I would have normally done with the Rockets on a back-to-back here, I'm going to just play the Spurs team total under. And I know it's a low number, but they haven't gone over this number in 4 of their last 5 games. Again, 103 to New Orleans, 96 to New Orleans, 110 to Detroit. They got the 120. Okay, so 3 of the last 5. I'm sorry, they did get the 120 win against Phoenix. So Phoenix is really, really bad. So they get a hook cover against Detroit. They get the 120 against Phoenix, and then they play Boston, who's a really good defense, and they get to 103. I think that this Houston Rockets team is a really, really good defense, and I think that Ime Udoka really has them locked in on that side of ball. And I don't know. Maybe the Rockets are able to score and have one of those games. If you look at what this team has done against the Rockets in the last 5 games playing the Rockets, team total 100, 101, 109 in a win, 107, 101. They haven't gone over 109.5 for a team total in any of their last 5 games against the Rockets. Some of these games, the Rockets have been able to put up 120 plus points, and those are the games that the game has gone over. So I just wanted to take the Rockets out of the equation. So I'm going with the San Antonio Spurs, team total under 109.5. That is my bet for that game. I took the Rockets out of the equation. I'm just fading the Spurs and saying the Spurs are not going to be able to get to 110 points on the Rockets here today. Rockets have been very, very good defending teams to that number as well. So, all right, that's play number 1. Play number 2, over to the prop bet cheat sheet. I went through the records and I said, all right, I'm kind of getting in a little bit of cold streak with the prop bets. Got to go look at who's been doing well for us. And it was DeMar DeRozan. And sure enough, look at DeMar DeRozan sitting right here on the prop bet cheat sheet as well. So let's go back to DeMar DeRozan in the game against the Utah Jazz, where the Utah Jazz play horribly. They have a whole wide string of injuries where Walker Kessler is questionable. They're not going to have Lauri Markkanen in this game. I don't think John Collins is playing in this game either. So that's just going to be another element of size that's going to be gone from them. Let me go back here and double check real quick. Jazz. Yep. So John Collins is out. Lauri Markkanen's out. Colin Sexton's out. Walker Kessler's a game time decision. You're missing a lot of options in that front court. Yeah, I think that DeMar DeRozan can go have a good day, be able to get to the rim, be able to also set up his teammates and be the guy he is. So we've been taking DeRozan PRA, currently sitting there at 23.5 around consistency line. We have projected for 28.2 here, 73% cover probability, and a 5-star bet rating. He's been over this line in 6 of his last 10 games, been over in 6 of his last 10 games on the road as well. And he's been over in 3 of the last 4 against Utah. More importantly, he's been over his last 2 times traveling at Utah. So playing in some of that sneaky elevation hasn't slowed down DeRozan at all. He's gone way over. I mean, he's had 36, 28 in Utah in terms of PRA. So I like this spot for DeRozan to sit in here, have another really good game like he's been doing. Like he's been over this line in 5 straight games. So I like DeMar DeRozan to have another really good outing here up against not 5 straight, but in 4 of the last 5. And so I like DeMar DeRozan to have another good outing here against the Utah Jazz, who are basically mailing it into the tank. And no Markkanen, no Collins. The only thing I'm afraid of is a blowout. But luckily, the Sacramento Kings are so bad defensively, that they might just let the Utah Jazz in this game. Like I was very, very close to just saying, man, I really just want to bet Jazz because this is too many points for a Kings team that's horrible defensively. So luckily, thankfully, that the Kings defense is just as bad. Hopefully this isn't a blowout and we get 4 solid good quarters of DeRozan. I like DeRozan to go over 23.5 PRA. That is play number 2. And here's what we're doing. We're doing the Spurs team total under 109.5 and DeMar DeRozan to go over 23.5 PRA. All right, I'm at really real. Well, there we go. I'm at really real __ on X. Give me a follow at BettingPros on X and TikTok, at BettingPros NFL on Instagram and YouTube.com/BettingPros. Also, make sure that you go ahead and subscribe on YouTube. Leave a comment on any Fast Break Bet video, and you'll have a chance to win that Alonzo Mourning signed jersey as well. All right. With that, that is it. I don't have anything else to say, nothing else to do. No other way of ending the podcast. Just going to end it like this. We are out of here.